Hey everyone, my name is Joanna from the SIG SAUER Academy. Today we're going to be talking about the M400 ROSE Edition working grip, sights, and trigger. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that this gun is safe. It's in a safe environment, there's not going to be any unintentional discharges, and there's no ammo in the rifle. So I need to safely pick up the gun. Establishing a safe grip, my finger is going to be high on the receiver, making sure the muzzle is pointed in a safe direction. So when I pick up the rifle, I want to make sure that my webbing of my hand is high in that pistol grip on the rear of the rifle. The other thing I want to consider are my fingers. My 3 fingers are wrapped around the front of the pistol grip. And another touch point is the trigger guard resting on that middle ring finger. As I showed you, my index finger or my trigger finger is going to be high on that receiver. So one thing to consider is my shoulder. I need to put this stock into my right shoulder. First, I want to make sure that the stock is appropriately distanced from the rifle, but an exercise you can do to try to get that as close to perfect as possible is start out by making a right angle with your right arm and seeing if the stock will touch your bicep. And some gap is okay, so a little gap or it touching your bicep is ideal. Once I've established that the stock has a good placement, I need to put that stock in my shoulder, center line in your body. I want to be able to present the rifle center line so that my eyes can pick up the sights, and we'll get into that more. So putting the stock center line of my body and pushing it close to that shoulder. I'll show you on the other side. If I come here, it looks center line. I bring it in and it's nice and snug. Another touch point would be your cheek. So the shoulder and the cheek create kind of a vise, and it creates a lot of stability and rigidity for the rifle. So as I place the stock in my center line, I'm going to bring my cheek close to the stock. And I really mash it against that stock. I'll show you what it looks like on the other side. That's going to give you the stability you need for recoil management. So next we're going to talk about the optic. It's a Romeo 5 Rose Edition, and we're going to talk about a few things to be successful with the presentation of the optic. So one of the things to think about is I want to bring the optic to my eye line. So once I establish that shoulder connection as well as the cheek connection, I need to make sure that the optic is in line with my eyes. I push my face forward, make that cheek weld, and I should be able to see the red dot on top of whatever target I'm looking at. Key points with the red dot is to keep both eyes open and to be target focused. So next thing we're gonna get into is the trigger press. Consider this pad of your trigger finger. I wanna try to put just the pad of that finger on the trigger. If you really wanna simplify how to get a good, accurate shot, think about moving the trigger to the rear without disturbing any part of the gun or the sights. Incorporating everything, my strong side grip, I have my shoulder and cheek weld established, and my support side grip is also established. Bringing the gun up into my line of sight, I can work the safety into the off position and work that trigger press. Once I've pressed the trigger and I've fired that round, my finger immediately will come off the gun if I'm done with that course of fire, and I would work the safety. I can't do that with dry fire because the trigger's engaged. So I'm going to have to manually reciprocate that bolt in order to work the safety. I can put it down, and I am now ready for my next portion of training.